after leaving Anfield with a point. In a game that was a battle, today we'll break down what exactly we learned. We'll also get a massive transfer update with a window about to open, find out what's happening with Thomas Partey, and reveal Arsenal's new signing for Real Madrid. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to your boys channel. I hope you guys are doing sensational. Boy, do we have a lot to break down after a fascinating game at Anfield. So as per, smash a like on the video if you've enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're starting off with Arsenal's Anfield agenda. Going to Anfield for Arsenal has always been difficult. Last year, a dramatic 2-2 draw. This year's game was even more fascinating, with Jurgen Klopp after the game going up to Mikel and saying, wow, wow, wow. As Virgil van Dijk says, this was a great game to be involved in. Arsenal are very good. Last year we had the same result as a draw, but there was something different about this year's performance. Where last year our XG against was 4.76. This year it was a closer encounter. Liverpool 0.98 and Arsenal 0.90. The overall stats were very close. Liverpool slightly edging possession and more passes completed. Arsenal making more final third entries, but Liverpool having a higher expected threat created. The field tilt was also close, with Arsenal having 51% in total. But look at what happens after the 60th minute. Arsenal took complete control. That, my friends, was an emotional evolution. In the most crunch part of the game, Arsenal weren't panicking. They were showing control and, more importantly, composure. And there was one play that summed it up perfectly. The man of the match of the day, William Saliba, on his first ever appearance at Anfield. Saliba made 3 clearances, had 1 block shot, 1 interception and 2 tackles. 2 out of 5 ground duels and 3 out of 3 in the air. Eating Gakpo for breakfast and Nunes for dinner. There's only one defender in the league this year that has won the ball back 50 plus times in the middle third of the pitch. His name is William Saliba. But there's one thing that makes Saliba world class. That, my friends, is composure. The prime example being in the 80th minute of the game. A ball gets lofted into the air. Saliba up against Mo Salah. Look at the way he kills the ball and starts to build the attack straight away. It's those little things that allow Arsenal to exert a different level of control, because Saliba is always able to make an extra second, never fazed by pressure. This was the face of Mo Salah as Saliba burst past him in the final parts of the game. We have reached the stage now where even the rival fans are acknowledging the greatness of William Saliba. Saliba is built for games like this, and likewise is a certain Declan Rice. The prime example was this: 70 minutes on the clock and Liverpool on the counter, 5 players versus Arsenal's 2. Look at how Rice is able to slow things down. Focus on the pace of Saliba as he spurs past Nunes. A chance that could have been a guaranteed goal fell to a defender. Arsenal may have got fortunate, but Rice and Saliba earned that luck. Rice's stats do all the talking. 91 touches, 64 accurate passes and 4 accurate long balls. 5 clearances, 2 receptions and 2 tackles. The standout feature was responsibility, with Zinchenko struggling on the ball to make things happen. Rice was holding the team down, demanding the ball and giving us technical security. Time and time again, as you can see, he was beating the Liverpool press with fantastic pass selection. The whole idea of Declan Rice is suffocation. Elite at pouncing and knowing when to intercept. Rice is the highest player in the league this year in terms of attacking half interceptions. But can we focus on Bukayo Saka? The stats may only be a 6.8 rating, with 4 successful dribbles, 3 key passes, 2 accurate long balls, and 7 out of 18 ground duels. But we need to focus on one specific moment, a 50-50 between Saka and Tsimikas in the first half, which ended in Tsimikas being thrown into Jurgen Klopp. Reports confirming after the game, Liverpool fear Tsimikas has suffered a suspected broken collarbone. As Bukayo says after the game, I want to apologise for it. I didn't mean it, of course, but for me it was just a 50-50. There was something very important that I noticed after the game. If you focus on it from this angle here, you can notice that Bukayo Saka's foot actually slips on a very wet Liverpool pitch. The thing we need to focus on though is Bukayo Saka's strength. Winning 7 duels in this game, the most out of any player on the pitch. Bukayo Saka is physically evolving. The amount of times he's able to demand the ball now and play with authority, using his body to barge players off the ball. We are now seeing the development of a physical outlet. After the game he says, "I'm a little bit frustrated. When we had our moments, myself as well in the final third, that final pass didn't go the right way today. There is where the frustration lies with me. Arsenal entered the final third more times than Liverpool in this game, yet time and time again there was no movement, with the rest of our attackers standing like statues. What was happening with Gabriel Martinelli? A 6.5 overall rating taken off in the 68th minute, 2 out of 6 dribbles, 11 accurate passes all game and only 33 touches. We're seeing a Martinelli that's not playing with conviction, not the fearless ball carrier that Arsenal fans know and love. The fact that he only had 1 shot in this game tells me all I need to know. Look at his heat map and you'll notice how far wide he was, with most of his touches coming in the Arsenal half. There's something Mikel Arteta may need to do now. Challenge Gabriel Martinelli and drop him to the bench. Because look at what happened last season. With Martinelli out of form and struggling, after a few games off the bench he came back far stronger, going on to get goals and assists galore. Let's focus though on Alexander Zinchenko, dropping a 6.7 rating. with 2 clearances, 3 tackles and 2 times forward passed, 5 out of 10 ground duels. Salah was causing him so many issues. But are you guys really surprised? Arsenal fans already know about Zinchenko's defensive problems. So does Mikel Arteta. Why do you think he signed Urian Timber in the first place? The profile of Takehiro Tomiyasu. Arsenal already have their answers, but what about the availability? According to recent reports from Simon Collins, Arsenal expect Tomiyasu to be available as we take on Liverpool once again on the 7th of January in the FA Cup. Urian Timber isn't far away either. Recent reports confirm Urian Timber is on track to return to training in January and is aiming to make the squad for the trip to Porto on February the 21st. There's one more thing that I want to focus on, the potential handball of Martin Odegaard. A lot of people thought Arsenal got away with it, but the rules are here to disagree. As confirmed on the Premier League's website, if the player is falling and the ball hits a supporting arm, which is between their body and ground, this is not a handball, unless the ball goes directly into the opponent's goal or the player scores immediately afterwards. After earning a point, here's how the table stands. Arsenal move on to 40 points, 1 point clear Liverpool and Aston Villa, 6 ahead of Man City who have a game in hand. It does mean that Arsenal will start Christmas Day top of the league in consecutive years for just a second time, after doing so in 1932 and 1933. This year feels a little bit different. The Arsenal team is definitely more mature. The example being in this game, with 5 yellow cards given to the Arsenal players. Years gone by, a player would have definitely got sent off, yet this team kept stable, limiting an informed Liverpool team to only 1 big chance all game. Arsenal's title charge is getting stronger, and things could be about to get very interesting. So moving on to the January transfer moves. The transfer window is nearly upon us, and Arsenal have a few dilemmas. Having spent over £200 million in the summer, Arsenal may need to make a sale. That's where you've got the future of Eddie Nketiah. According to Sammy Mockbell, among the players attracting interest is Eddie Nketiah, who, given his status as academy product, would be registered as pure profit in terms of FFP accountancy. However, the club have already knocked back at least 1 inquiry from a top flight side ahead of the transfer window for Nketiah. There's a reason why Arsenal won't say he's for sale, because to maximise any player's value, you need to say you want to keep him, giving you a far stronger hand in negotiations. In 9 league starts this year, Eddie has 5 league goals. That's 1 more than a certain Julian Alvarez. Eddie could thrive with the likes of Crystal Palace, maybe a Fulham, having signed Eddie to a long-term contract in 2022. Don't be surprised if there's a big offer coming in January. But there's another Premier League striker that we need to focus on. Bournemouth's Dominic Solanke. According to reports, Arsenal have spoken to boyhood Arsenal fan Dominic Solanke, with Arsenal actively looking for a striker in the January transfer window. 11 league goals in 17 appearances this season, 0 being from the penalty spot. His last performance is very impressive, a 9.3 rating and a hat-trick from a 0.73 XG. So far this year, Solanke is overperforming his XG, having missed only 6 big chances all season, with a very impressive 20% goal conversion. Solanke's profile is intriguing. Not only is he improving as a goal scorer, but there's also a lot of link-up potential. Last year in the Premier League providing 7 assists, with 6 big chances created. His numbers the year before were even more impressive, with 29 goals in the Championship, alongside 7 assists. Solanke's always been very highly rated, previously being signed by Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, coming through Chelsea's academy to produce some top players. The real impressive stat is 11 non-penalty goals, only 3 goals away from equaling Ivan Toney's best ever non-penalty total. This would be more of an Eddie Nketiah replacement. We need to talk about Ivan Toney though. As former Arsenal player Jermaine Pennant says, I think he would be a perfect fit for Arsenal. I really do believe he is the guy that could win them the title. I think he could come into the club and become Arsenal's modern version of Ian Wright. The one thing that's always been clear is how much Toney wants to move to Arsenal. On his recent Instagram post, Toney liked to comment, saying Arsenal do the right thing. Chelsea are also in the race, but Arsenal have a clear advantage, because as Fabrizio Romano confirms, the rumour I'm hearing as his preference in terms of a top club move, in January or in the summer, would be to go to Arsenal. From what I'm hearing, Ivan Toney could be really excited at the possibility of joining Arsenal. The main issue here is Brentford. Having lost Mbeumo for 12 weeks, the only way they sell Toney in January is if a massive offer arrives. There's something happening though with Victor Osimhen. With Arsenal and Chelsea both fighting for a signature, out of nowhere Victor Osimhen has signed a new Napoli contract until 2026. The details are very interesting, with Fabrizio confirming Victor will get a huge salary rise, but there will also now be a release clause that is confirmed. He's expected to stay in January. This is only a new 1-year contract, with the key detail being the release clause. By having that in the contract, Osimhen is confirming that a summer departure is almost imminent. As Fabrizio Romano confirms, the expectation is for Victor Osimhen to have a very good chance to leave Napoli in 2024. Not in January but in the summer. The new deal will include a release clause in the region of 130 to 140 million euros. The interest from Chelsea and Arsenal remains. That release clause isn't even as high as that. Some rumours have gone as far as saying that release clause is actually 120 million euros, which would be around the same figure Arsenal pay for a certain Declan Rice. Arsenal have shown in the past they can pay that sort of money. David Ornstein has also been speaking, confirming that Arsenal striker search looks more plausible in the summer, It would take a massive bid to get Brentford to sell Ivan Toney in January. Osimhen, Sesko and Ferguson are all admired, but their arrival is not anticipated anytime soon. Arsenal have a different priority in January. So let's focus on midfield. According to Sammy Mokbel, Everton's Amadou Onana is being watched closely by Arsenal. 6'4" tall and only 22 years of age. Look at Onana's heat map this season. The fact that he excels on the left-hand side of midfield. Here's a recent performance that sums him up as a player. A 7.9 rating against Burnley, scoring a goal with 47 touches, 26 accurate passes, 5 out of 6 ground duels and 6 out of 8 in the air. There's a reason why Arteta would love this profile. Onana has the highest duel success rates of any midfielder in the league this year, to win 10 plus duels, winning 99 duels out of 145, a 68% win rate. Just imagine him alongside Declan Rice. Arsenal would be eating midfields for breakfast. But what about Douglas Luiz? Reports have confirmed that Arsenal are now in talks with Douglas Luiz. He's the #1 target for midfield in January. This only makes sense because of Martin Odegaard. Having seen the impact of a deep line playmaker, the way that Arsenal functions so much better, Luiz has an even more natural profile at doing that. Punchy with his passing and able to play balls in behind. Fabrizio Romano confirms Douglas Luiz remains Arsenal's favourite option as a midfielder. He's considered the perfect player, but Aston Villa remain on their position. They don't want to sell Douglas. Third in the Premier League table, fighting for Champions League places, Arsenal would have to make an offer over £60 million if they want to sell Douglas Luiz. Let's just say David Ornstein isn't convinced. Speaking on the reported interest in Douglas Luiz, Ornstein says, "I have no information to suggest they plan to attempt to sign him this time, as not everyone at Arsenal is fully convinced he's the right profile for them." Instead, Ornstein has put forward a different name, Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad, with Ornstein confirming that Arsenal explored the potential deal for Zubimendi a year ago, and interest in the Spaniard remains strong. Several factors would have to combine for a move to happen. Zubimendi's profile is very similar to Douglas Luiz. Arsenal are clearly targeting a deep line playmaker. There is of course a key difference. Where Luiz would be very expensive, Zubimendi has a release clause that could be activated. But are Arsenal fans forgetting? Without Tomiyasu and Jurrien Timber, no centre back behind William Saliba, you can't forget about a defensive signing. Let's go to Portugal and more specifically Lisbon. According to Jordan Davis, Arsenal are keeping tabs on Sporting Lisbon centre-back Gonzalo Ignasio, but are unlikely to make a move for him in January. The 22-year-old Portuguese international has a £52 million release clause. There's no chance Arsenal activate that release clause in January. They might have to be a bit more creative. As other reports confirm, Arsenal intend to offer Sporting an initial loan proposal for centre-back Gonzalo Ignasio in January that would include a mandatory purchase option. The deal could be done for €60 million. Sporting have accepted a similar deal in the past to Tottenham's Pedro Porro. At 22 years of age, Ignasio is a very decent centre-back, but there's a reason why this doesn't make as much sense. The reason comes down to heat map. Ignacio is a left-footed left-sided centre-back just like Gabriel Magalhaes, a profile Arsenal already have with Jakub Kiwior. Ignacio can also play midfield, so he's versatile, but I only see Arsenal signing a right-sided defender. The profile that stands out straight away is also in Lisbon. We're talking Ousmane Diomande. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today. Arsenal have made a very intriguing move regarding their fitness department, having lost their head of fitness Gary O'Driscoll earlier this season. David Ornstein confirms Arsenal are set to appoint Crystal Palace's head of sports medicine Zafar Iqbal as a new doctor, expected to switch in the summer after a notice period. Previously worked for Liverpool and Tottenham, a permanent replacement for Gary O'Driscoll. I wonder if he can play in midfield. What's happening with the fitness of Thomas Partey though? Simon Collins says Thomas Partey alongside Tomiyasu and Oneni are set to be available for the FA Cup game against Liverpool. Partey won't be available for long though. Soon after returning, he's going to head off to AFCON with Ghana. One player that should be available though is Gabriel Magalhaes. After scoring his first goal of the season against Liverpool, Gabriel has now scored more Premier League goals than any other defender since making his debut in September 2020 with 11. He's the only defender to reach double figures in that time. But we need to focus on where the goal came from. Yet another set piece. That means that 46% of Arsenal's Premier League goals this season have come from set pieces. Only Luton with 47 have relied on dead ball situations more than the Gunners. Some people see this as a concern, but I don't. Maximising set pieces can be so important. It leads to so many vital goals. Arsenal's open play creativity is definitely improving because of a certain Martin Odegaard. Getting another assist against Liverpool, Odegaard had a 7.9 rating. 82 touches, 52 accurate passes, 3 key passes and 1 big chance created, winning 7 out of 12 ground duels. Martin Odegaard is slowly becoming Mikel Arteta's version of Bernardo Silva. This guy is our heartbeat. Look at these numbers here. Since moving into a deep line playmaking role, all of Odegaard's passing metrics have gone up, while there's been a clear decrease in shots taken. This is Arteta realising Odegaard's profile is not maximised as a number 10. He needs to be given the influence of a number 8. Arsenal have also made a very important move behind the scenes. As confirmed by The Athletic, Paulo Xavier has left his role as Real Madrid's Latin American scout to join Arsenal. In his new role at Arsenal, which has already begun, he will work in South America with 2 other scouts. This, my friends, could be game-changing. Xavier has been part of some massive deals at Real Madrid, from Rodrigo to Vinicius Jr., Federico Valverde, and now Endrick Felipe Moriera. Intriguingly, he was also once at Man United. where he scouted a certain Brazilian and brought him to trial. That player was Gabriel Martinelli. Edu Gaspar knows what he's doing here. By signing Paulo Xavier, Arsenal are getting elite South American talent ID, with a clear idea of going into that market and signing some potential superstars. That is the video there and there though, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all today's latest Arsenal news, alongside what we learned from Liverpool. The January transfer window is about to open and Mikel is wishing a few new signings and Arsenal could be cooking. Have a very Merry Christmas and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye guys.